Ask for the truth on behalf of June Anderson concerning relationship issues. Will a friend that she met after her last move return? What's this about? I ask this in the name of truth, right conduct, peace, love and non-violence. Blessed be to the truth always. I'm going to move the cards over just to here, June, and I'm going to try and we're just going to try and investigate this further. We'll deal out 3 cards. The first card we deal is in the position of the recent past. This is a period of time, of course, in the past between now and this time last month has been recent. I always say about a moon phase behind, in the sense about 28 days, something like that, you know. That's just enough to cope with, isn't it? As near to now as possible without it being now. The next card we deal is in the position of the present, so that's June Anderson right there, and then June Anderson in the immediate future, where we just pop there. I don't know if you can just, can you just see that? It's a bit bigger card, these bigger cards, and all the deck that we're using. This is the Psychic Tarot. Let's just see what we've got for the recent past, what's been vibrating, what Kabbalic energy or whatever you want to call it there has been manifesting itself over the past 3 or 4 weeks or so concerning this issue. Notice here the 8 of Cups. Emotional withdrawal this tends to focus on. The 8 of Cups, of course, is challenge to water, isn't it? Or whatever. Green is the heart chakra. So it's focused on feelings and emotions. And of course this has probably been the problem, literally, with the emotional withdrawal, as this calls it. The 8 of Cups, of course, is the challenge to the emotions, isn't it? Which in say, for example, the Crow's Magic Tarot. The Crow's Magic Tarot, Rhonda Marks calls it being shy and same similar sort of thing, withdrawn, shy and timid and whatever. And this is the same sort of thing. Maybe you felt vulnerable. All are vulnerable, but fools are gullible, remember. So it isn't an open shut case. But clearly you've been emotionally withdrawn over the past 3 or 4 weeks or so, literally, in that sense. A good way of putting it. And maybe you're just wanting a bit of company, and the only company you can want is, I suppose, the devil you know than the devil you don't know. And I don't know if that's true or not, but it as a figure of speech anyway. Let's just see what's going on now. Let's just flip the next card over and let's just see what's vibrating now. Let's see the energy of that there. More cups. The Ace of Cups this time, or the 1 of Cups, isn't it? Love begins, literally, right now. In the Crowley deck, you often see a cup with like a web, a spider's web, a bit like the sunrise, but it's created in the form of a spider's web. Water in the form of like a spider's web, as if to indicate the confusion and things like that going on. So the complexities of it, you know, this sort of points toward that. But pouring water into a stream as if to fuel it, or as if to add to it. But where does the stream go? Where does it flow to? As if it's adding to the flow. That's what I'm sort of getting from that. I don't know if you can get that from it, but I'm certainly getting as if it's adding to the flow of something has added to the flow from the emotional withdrawal. Of course, it doesn't mean there are no emotions there. It just means maybe you've been a bit internal, a bit of the self, a bit sort of withdrawn, literally in that sense. That you've been within yourself, searching within for an answer, and love begins in the sense of maybe you're thinking of this person again, and of course that's where love begins. But it begins, doesn't it? Where it flows to next is within the next 3 or 4 weeks or so. Where does it flow? Do we meet again, or is there a reunion, or what? That's just looking at that looks promising, doesn't it? In some respects, really, just standing your ground. Just stand your ground, I suppose, to some degree. Yes, I suppose. And with the darkness above, but it's sort of like it's like as you, although he stands there at the sort of as a black cloud comes over. I don't know what this is about, but certainly, really, in the next between now and this time next month, it is that standing your ground, isn't it? Literally, although 7 is weakness, isn't it normally? But it's more a case of knowing what your boundaries are, what are healthy boundaries and what are unhealthy boundaries. Regardless of if you do meet again within the next 3 or 4 weeks or so, you've got to know what your boundaries are in that sense. And you know, I'll do anything for love, but I won't do that. And I get this sort of sense as though this is why you stopped meeting this person, this friend. But maybe there are certain boundaries, certain limits that between now and this time next month, anyway, between now and this sort of mid-November-ish, or the end of November, isn't it now? It's the end of October now, Neil, isn't it? So sort of end of November, December-ish time. That you just got to literally do that. Just stand your ground, know what your boundaries are, and don't get taken for a ride. This is what I'm sort of sensing here. Don't get taken for a ride. It's nice to be emotionally withdrawal, or when one has been withdrawn emotionally about it. It's nice to think that love begins again. But stand your ground and know there are certain boundaries you won't go over. Certain thresholds that you won't go over. Say, for example, you discover this person is married and not getting on with his wife very well, but you know, well, we could probably get on very well, and ditch her or something, or I don't know what this has been about, but I'm just sort of saying, stand your ground. Don't, you know, if that was the case, then of course, you know, there are certain boundaries you have to respect, I suppose, to some degree. Darkness above, yes, you can see the light, but it separates one dark sky to a dark ground, and the light is in between, as if it's, like you say, it's as if it's separating two dark moments in time, as if the essence is darkness and the earthly effect is darkness, but the light at the end of the tunnel is there. But nevertheless, you've got to sort of literally stand your ground in the sense of know which is dark and which is light, to where you stand. Know where you stand. I think that's what that's really saying, to some degree there. Interesting, isn't it, that one? But really, but nevertheless, will you be meeting and reuniting? Maybe, but if it's iffy, and you've got to know what your boundaries are, as I say, it's unhealthy. If you do meet, it will be an unhealthy development, and this is the problem for now. Of course, what happens sort of December, January time, I don't know. But the energies here don't look too good if love begins. Love can't continue because of there's something there, isn't there? Something dark there, something that will stop you, and something that you say, I have to stop. I want to carry on, but I have to stop. This is what I'm getting from this. So for now, I think just for now, these cards have spoken.